Hey there, it's Melanie, and I'm proud to be presenting this video in association with favequilts.com. That's F-A-V-E, Q-U-I-L-T-S. And today I'm going to be doing a video on binding. We're going to be binding a baby quilt, and really to get started, you want to have binding that's cut into a strip about 2.5 inches wide. And then I like it 2.5 inches wide. That's a fairly wide binding. So if you prefer a thinner binding, then feel free to do it smaller than that. But this demonstration is going to be with 2.5. And then you are going to iron it. This is a solid. But if you're using a print for your binding, you are going to be ironing it wrong sides together. Okay, so the print will be on the outside. And basically you're going to measure all the way around your quilt and add another 10 inches or so, just so that you have enough for your corners and then for overlapping at the end. Also, when you're prepping your quilt, trim off the edges all the way, and then I like to zigzag stitch my edge. It just makes it a lot flatter and a little bit easier when you're hand stitching the back, because we're going to machine stitch the binding to the front and then we're going to hand stitch it on the back. So if you don't have a lot of bulk, everything's been trimmed down and zigzag stitched, it makes it a little bit easier. You can skip that step though, it's not essential. I don't always do it. You have a especially bulky quilt, or if your quilting doesn't come to the edge very far, to this edge, where you're going to have a flap of fabric, you would really want to do this. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to teach you how to pin it to your quilt and then sew it on. Start by laying out your binding so that your raw edge goes to the edge of the quilt like this. And be sure not to start at a corner. You want to start it maybe even down farther like this. Start pinning . Now when you get to a corner, you're going to have the binding go down straight. Then you're going to fold it so that then the binding extends out past the quilt, and then fold it back over this way. And that's going to create your mitered corner. And then pin that in place. When you begin sewing, I like to use a standard foot with my needle in the center position, and what it does is it stitches, if you could see right here along this stitch, is a little bit more than 1/4 from the edge, and that seems to be the right amount for then when you wrap it around and you then tack it onto the back side. If you have any doubts, just stitch down for a little bit, pull it out, and look and make sure that it's exactly how you want it to look. If it starts to bunch up like that, that's totally fine. It will do that. You will have a little bit extra to cut on the end. Just kind of pull it down and adjust it. Okay, so the binding is folded this way. You see my stitch marks there because I need to film it a little bit better so you can see what I'm doing. But it's folded this way, and so then you're gonna stitch all the way down to where this fold is. Back stitch. Okay, just be sure not to hit the fold. Okay, and then you're going to take it off. And then when you turn it to the other side, instead of it being folded this way, you're going to fold it the opposite direction. Okay, so it was folded like this. And you went down to the fold. Take it off, you rotate it this way and move it up like that. And then you start right from the edge up here and continue going all the way down. Now I'm almost down to the end, so just make sure that you leave yourself plenty of room to give yourself that last seam to connect your two ends together. If you have not already done so, cut your end so that you have the appropriate seam allowance. And then you're going to open up these pieces. Placing the right sides together. And then you're going to sew. And then you can go ahead and finish back where you ended off and sew all the way down to where you started. These are called binding clips, and they're really handy when you go about hand stitching your binding to the back of your quilts. I'll show you how to hand stitch it. You want to use your stitch right here, your machine stitch, as your guide. You want to make sure that that is hidden. And here, rub it through, pull it through. I'm gonna start just left of this clip. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to stab the fabric right underneath where it came out of this fold. Okay, right underneath that stitched line. And then you're basically, see, the needle is gonna travel across like here. And then that's where it'll come out into the fold. This is a hand quilting thread. It's got a waxy coating on it, so it's better for, you know, not tangling and things like that. Okay, so one more time, you wanna stab it into the fabric right under where it came out in the fold. Travel across right underneath that stitch line. And then come out right at the base of the fold. So when you get to this corner, you see this side is like folded in. That's the mitered corner, right? So you want to fold it and get it to where this line is going exactly diagonal, right? And then all you do is stitch right to the, just the same as you are, but just stitch it, you know, just be careful to watch, and when you're going right in this corner, kind of go under here like that. Some people like to stitch all the way up this line. I don't really feel like that's necessary. I've done many quilts like this, and it has been fine in the wash. When you get close to the end of your thread, make a knot right there at the base. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna push this up and through the top of your binding here. And then you're gonna pull it. And then basically, you're just gonna pull it until you feel that knot go through the fabric. And then that will secure it. Then you can start over. And do this, finish up your whole quilt, watch a movie, hang out on the couch, and finish stitching that up. Thanks for watching this binding tutorial. And basically, to finish off the quilt, keep hand stitching all the way around that back to get it nice and perfect and ready to be washed. I hope that this video is helpful for you. Please head on over to favequilts.com, FAVEQUILTS, for more lovely quilting inspiration. And I'll see you next time. Bye!